Have you ever noticed? The harder you try to drag the future into the present, the more exhausted you become. And the more the thing you chase seems to step further away? A student once asked me, "Teacher, I set goals, I write affirmations, I wake up at 5 a.m., I take 3 online courses, and yet I feel stuck. Why?" And I asked back, "Are you planting seeds of peace, or seeds of fear that you'll be left behind?" Buddhism says the mind is like a field. Your actions are seeds. Conditions, the rain, the sun, the soil, are the causes that help those seeds grow. If you plant with shaky hands, full of doubt and desperation, the seeds fall into hardened ground. But if you plant in stillness, trust, and patience, the rain will always know when to come. History has shown us this lesson again and again. Think of Abraham Lincoln, defeated in elections again and again. Yet he carried himself with steady patience until the right moment ripened into the presidency. Or Gandhi, who discovered that stillness, fasting, and silence could disarm an empire more effectively than rage. Even in the stars, Saturn reminds us that timing is everything. Saturn doesn't deny you, it matures you. The harvest never comes in spring, it comes in autumn, when the fruit is ready to be picked. Across cultures, the wisdom is the same. In Chinese folklore, the farmer who tugged on his sprouts to help them grow killed them instead. In Greek mythology, Icarus rushed too close to the sun and fell. In Buddhist parables, the man searching for his ox realized it was grazing peacefully in his backyard all along. So here, in Dharma Veins, we will not talk about running faster. We will explore the art of letting life run toward you. 7 principles, deep enough to stop your confusion, practical enough to change your daily rhythm. And if you stay until the end, you'll walk away with a 7-day map. Simple daily practices to shift your vibration from anxious striving to calm abundance, from "I must get" to "I already am enough." Close your eyes for a moment. Take a breath. Inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 6. Feel that pause, the space between wanting and receiving. That space is where transformation begins. Part 1. Vibration. The universe responds to energy, not anxiety. The nature of vibration in Buddhist wisdom. Buddhism often describes the mind as a field where every thought plants a seed. These seeds, whether wholesome or unwholesome, tilt the soil of our consciousness. Tilt it toward generosity, patience, and clarity, and life tends to flow in a luminous direction. Tilt it toward fear, scarcity, and haste, and the same soil yields confusion and missteps. The law is subtle but profound. The universe doesn't reward begging, it resonates with what you radiate. This is why in many sutras, the Buddha emphasized tam han, the tendencies of mind, as the architect of our destiny. Energy is never hidden, it vibrates outward, shaping the reality you walk into. In astrology, this mirrors the idea that your natal chart is less about fate and more about frequency. A person heavy in Saturn energy may vibrate seriousness and responsibility. One leaning into Jupiter may radiate expansion and generosity. The cosmos listens to the tone you emit, not the desperate noise you make when you're afraid of missing out. Signs you're broadcasting scarcity. How do you know when your frequency is tilted toward lack instead of abundance? It's not abstract, you feel it in your body. You refresh your phone 10 times. Anxious if someone hasn't replied in a few hours. You set goals but secretly rehearse disaster scenarios. What if I fail? What if no one supports me? You work harder and harder, but each effort feels scattered, like pouring water into sand. These are signals, like a radio station playing static instead of music. In folklore, it's like the fisherman who casts his net frantically in all directions, catching nothing but exhaustion. When you operate from scarcity, you're shouting to the universe, "I don't trust you," and the universe echoes back, "Very well. Here's more reason to doubt." A 7-minute frequency shift. The good news: vibration can be shifted in small, grounded ways. Think of it as tuning an instrument before you play a song. 1 minute of breath. Inhale for 4. Hold for 4. Exhale for 6. This simple rhythm tells your nervous system, "I am safe." 2 minutes of gratitude writing. Note 3 things you already have: fresh water, a roof, a kind word someone gave you. Don't repeat yesterday's list. Fresh awareness keeps the vibration alive. 3 minutes of aligned action. Send one message. Read 2 pages. Or tidy one corner. Tiny actions anchor intention into reality. 1 minute of smiling without reason. Neuroscience backs it. Smiling shifts brain chemistry, turning the mind from scarcity to sufficiency. These 7 minutes act like retuning your personal radio, moving from static to harmony. Story: the old bookstore. Let me tell you a story that carries both humor and truth. A young woman named Lan spent 6 exhausting months hunting for a rare first edition. She scoured fairs, stalked forums, and begged collectors, each effort more desperate than the last. Finally, she gave up. One rainy weekend, she sat by her mother's old bookshelf with a cup of tea. There it was, the exact book, quietly waiting for years in her own home. The lesson? When we stop chasing so frantically, our vision clears. The object of desire often wasn't absent, it was simply obscured by our restless energy. Buddhist parables echo this. A man once searched high and low for his ox, only to realize it had been grazing calmly in his backyard. In astrology too, this is Saturn's gift. The moment you pause, slow down, and accept divine timing, the treasure often appears. Guided reflection, short Dharma astro meditation. Close your eyes. Imagine your thoughts as ripples on a pond. With each breath, let the ripples soften until the water reflects the sky clearly. Now, visualize a constellation, perhaps Orion or the Pleiades, its ancient light reaching you after thousands of years. That light doesn't rush, it travels patiently. And yet it always arrives. Whisper to yourself, I am not late. I am aligned. The deeper human meaning. Every tradition, East and West, tells us the same truth in different accents. In Buddhism, with our thoughts we make the world. In astrology, your chart sets the tone, but your vibration chooses the melody. In folk wisdom, don't pull the sprouts to help them grow. The core is simple, anxiety blocks, while calm presence magnetizes. When you vibrate from sufficiency, life doesn't just give you what you want, it reveals what you already had. Part 2, Control and Resistance. The tighter you hold, the more it slips. How Buddhism sees control. Buddhism is clear. The urge to control everything comes from tanha, craving, and from avijja, ignorance of interdependence. We forget impermanence, clinging as if the world should bend to our schedule. We forget non-self, assuming there is a solid I who can bend the universe into obedience. But reality is fluid. The Buddha compared life to a river. You can steer your boat, but you can't stop the current. In astrology, this is mirrored by Saturn energy. When unbalanced, Saturn makes us rigid, hyper-controlling, afraid to let go of structure. But every Saturn transit eventually teaches humility. Some lessons arrive only when we release our grip and respect time's flow. Signs you're clutching too hard. You don't need a meditation cushion to see it. The signs show up in daily life. Your calendar is packed to the minute, yet your results feel hollow. You micromanage loved ones or coworkers, believing only you know the right way. Your frustration multiplies each time life shifts half an inch from your plan. It's like trying to script the weather or choreograph every conversation. The tighter you hold, the more exhausted you feel. 3 practices to loosen the grip. 1. Distinguish control from influence. Write 2 columns. What I can act on versus what I must release. Action belongs to you, outcomes belong to the universe. 2. The one thing I lay down ritual. Each night, write one worry you've been clinging to. Fold the paper. Place it in a small box, a symbolic handover to the cosmos. Over time, the box becomes a testament to how often life resolved itself without your interference. 3. Right effort, not frenzy. In Buddhist terms, this is samma vayama, effort that is steady, balanced, sustainable. Imagine tending a fire. Too little wood and it dies. Too much and it smothers. Story: sand in the hand. A mountaineer once told his student, grip the sand tightly, and it escapes between your fingers. Cup your hand gently, and the sand rests in peace. Life is like that. The gentle hand is faith, the clenched fist is fear. Short guided reflection. Close your eyes. Picture a rope in your hand. The harder you pull, the deeper it burns your skin. Now imagine letting the rope go slack. Feel the relief in your palm. Whisper to yourself, I can guide, but I cannot command. Breathe into that release. The astrological dimension. Think of the full moon, when it's at peak brightness. We can't push it to wane faster. Or Mercury retrograde, no matter how much we demand speed. Miscommunication arises. The lesson of the stars is the same as the Dharma, surrender to cycles. Push against them, and you generate resistance. Align with them, and you surf the wave instead of fighting the tide. Folk wisdom echoes the Dharma. Across cultures, stories remind us. In American folklore, the farmer who pulled at his sprouts to help them grow destroyed them instead. In Zen, the student who tried to grasp enlightenment too quickly was told by his master, you cannot scoop up the moon's reflection with your hand. In astrology, Saturn teaches us patience. A harvest arrives in season, never earlier, no matter how tightly you clutch the seed. The deeper human meaning. The need to control is rooted in fear of chaos. Fear of not being enough. Fear that life will betray us if we loosen our grip. But every tradition whispers the same truth, the more space you create, the more life breathes back into you. Control strangles possibility. Surrender invites it. Part 3, The Power of Silence. Silence speaks louder than noise. Silence is not escape. In Buddhism, silence is never about running away. It is about training the inner muscle of awareness, clear, steady, non-judging. In a world of buzzing phones and constant chatter, silence is resistance against being hijacked by noise. The Buddha often went into the forest, not because he despised people, but because he knew wisdom is born when the mind is uncluttered. Astrology reflects this too. The 12th house, the house of retreat and solitude, reminds us that stepping back can unlock hidden strengths. When Mercury, planet of communication, goes retrograde, silence can prevent chaos. Sometimes the wisest response to cosmic turbulence is not another word, but a pause. A 5-minute, still lake practice. Sit upright, eyes half closed. Imagine your breath flowing like water across a calm lake. When a thought rises, see it as a ripple. Don't chase it, don't push it away, just let the water settle. This short practice isn't about deleting thoughts, it's about remembering you are the lake, not the ripples. Measurable benefits. Sharper decisions. Pausing reduces impulsive reactions. Heightened intuition. In silence, you catch the universe's whispers, an inner nudge, a subtle sign. Mental rest. Silence is like a charging station for the brain. Without it, burnout is inevitable. In corporate life, leaders who cultivate silence often outlast those who run only on noise and speed. Silence is not passivity, it is strategy. Story, the unsent email. A CEO had a rule: any angry email must sit overnight in drafts. By morning, 70% of those messages were unnecessary. That pause saved not only his reputation but also his relationships. Silence can be a shield against creating new karma. A short guided reflection. Close your eyes. Picture a night sky, stars scattered like diamonds, but they only shine because the sky itself is silent and dark. Whisper inwardly, I am the sky, not the storm. Feel how that phrase settles the chest, as if giving you back spaciousness. The astrological depth of silence. The moon governs our inner tides. During the new moon, silence is essential. Farmers once planted seeds in quiet soil, trusting growth in the unseen. Likewise, silence during dark nights of the soul is not emptiness but germination. When Mars is fiery in your chart, silence tempers action with wisdom. When Neptune clouds judgment, silence clears the fog. In every chart, silence is medicine. It is the counterbalance to planets that demand noise and motion. Folk wisdom and Dharma echoes. Across traditions, the same lesson repeats. In American folklore, the hunter who sat quietly by the river caught more fish than the one who splashed loudly. Zen stories remind us that enlightenment often arrived when the master stopped speaking and simply raised a finger or held a flower. In Christian mysticism, silence was called the language of God. In Buddhist sutras, the Buddha's noble silence taught as much as his words. Even astrology joins the chorus. Transits of Saturn demand restraint, reminding us that silence is not absence but form, shape, and sacred discipline. The deeper human meaning. Noise tries to convince us that speed equals progress. But silence reveals the truth. Space is what lets meaning grow. The most powerful decisions, the most profound insights, often emerge not from talking more but from listening deeper. Silence isn't weakness, it is strength wrapped in stillness. It speaks louder than words, because it resonates with wisdom itself. Part 4. The Art of Trusting Timing. Flowers bloom only in their season. Timing as the rhythm of dependent origination. In Buddhist thought, every event is a weave of causes, the seed, conditions, the rain, the soil, the season, and results, the blossom. To demand a seed to sprout before its time is to fight against the very fabric of nature. The Buddha often warned, craving for premature results only deepens suffering. Astrology echoes this truth. Saturn, the keeper of time and karma, teaches us patience. No transit of Saturn can be rushed. It matures us only when the lesson has ripened. Just as you can't speed up a Saturn return, you cannot force life chapters before their season. Jupiter may promise abundance, but without Saturn's timing, expansion collapses. Common mistakes we make: equating slow with failure. In a culture of instant gratification, waiting feels like falling behind. Yet the bamboo grows roots unseen for years before shooting up sky high. Comparing our timeline with someone else's. But each chart has its own transits. Each soul its own journey. Your Venus season may come when another person is under Saturn's test. The rhythm is personal, not universal. In folk wisdom, the farmer who sows rice cannot envy the apple tree. Each crop matures in its own season. A practice: 3 rescue questions. When impatience starts burning inside, pause and ask. 1. Have I truly planted enough seeds? Sometimes frustration comes not from divine delay but from neglecting consistent effort. 2. Am I damaging conditions by being impatient? Like overwatering a sprout, haste often ruins the very chance of growth. 3. What is the next small, sane step right now? Not the giant leap, not the end game, just one clear action aligned with the present season. These questions are like a compass when the mind is stormy. Story: The Potter's Lesson. A young potter, eager to impress, turned up the kiln's heat to rush the clay. The pot cracked. His teacher shook his head. Some things cannot be hurried. Life too needs its rightful temperature. Push too fast, and what could have been strong becomes fragile. Astrologically, this is Mars rushing ahead during a Saturn transit, fire without foundation. It burns bright but collapses quickly. True endurance comes when fire and time work together. Short guided reflection. Sit comfortably. Imagine holding a seed in your palm. Whisper inwardly, not yet. But soon. With each breath, see roots forming beneath the soil. Hidden but alive. Let your chest soften as you realize growth is already underway. Even if unseen. Astrological dimension of timing. New moons invite beginnings, but their fruits aren't immediate, they mature by the full moon. Saturn cycles, 7, 14, 28 years, mark structural growth. Trying to skip them is like skipping grades without learning the basics. Retrogrades remind us that delays are not punishments but recalibrations. Mercury retrograde may postpone deals, but it also uncovers hidden truths we'd miss in haste. Timing in astrology is not punishment, but choreography. The sky reminds us, growth is not random. It is rhythmic. Folk and Dharma echoes. A Chinese proverb says, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best is today. This doesn't mean rush, it means start planting now and respect the seasons. In Zen stories, students who demanded enlightenment overnight were told, first, sweep the floor. Enlightenment, like spring, doesn't arrive on demand, it arrives when you're ready. In astrology, Jupiter may offer opportunity, but only Saturn decides when you're mature enough to hold it. The deeper human meaning. Patience is not weakness, it is faith in the unseen process. Trusting timing doesn't mean idling, it means steady effort without strangling the outcome. It means accepting that your chapter will open not by force, but by ripeness. Flowers bloom only in their season. And so do we. Part 5, Spiritual Self-Worth. You attract what you believe you deserve. Worthiness does not equal arrogance. In Buddhism, worthiness is not pride, it is faith, Sada, in your true nature. Self-respect, hiri atapa, and compassion for yourself. Believing you deserve peace, love, and abundance doesn't inflate the ego, it clears the gate for receiving. The Buddha often said, you, yourself, as much as anyone in the universe, deserve your love and affection. In astrology, Venus shows us how we value ourselves. A poorly aspected Venus may leave us doubting our worth, settling for crumbs, but when Venus is honored through self-respect, beauty, and love freely given, we align with relationships and opportunities that mirror that dignity. The three mechanisms at play. 1. Perception. What you believe about yourself shapes what you notice. If you think you're unworthy, your mind filters out supportive signals. If you believe you deserve, you recognize doors when they open. 2. Behavior. A person who trusts in their worth dares to apply for the job, to take the class, to show up on the stage. They act as if life is available to them. 3. Relationships. Knowing your value allows you to say no with clarity. The universe respects boundaries, people do too. The friendships and loves you attract mirror your self-regard. This isn't ego, it's resonance. A radio only picks up the station it's tuned to. Exercise, the harbor of worth. Each evening, write down 10 small proofs from your day that confirm your worth. Did you keep a promise? Did you complete a task? Did you show kindness? Read them aloud before sleep. Over time, the nervous system rewires. The inner critic softens, the inner witness grows stronger. Story, the scholarship door. A young woman believed she wasn't good enough, so she skipped 3 application cycles. Finally, she shifted her self-talk. I may not be perfect, but I'm progressing enough to try. She applied and won the scholarship. The universe often doesn't require perfection. It requires the vibration of dignity, a knock on the door with steady faith. Guided reflection. Close your eyes. Place a hand on your heart. Whisper, I am worthy of peace. I am worthy of love. I am worthy of abundance. Picture Venus shining in the evening sky, steady and radiant. With each breath, let her light remind you, worth is not earned, it is remembered. The astrological depth. Venus shows how we give and receive love when honored. She brings harmony. Jupiter expands whatever belief you hold, if you believe in lack. Jupiter multiplies scarcity, if you believe in worthiness. Jupiter multiplies blessings. Saturn tests self-worth. Do you still claim your dignity when challenged? When you pass, Saturn rewards with enduring strength. Astrology reminds us, the sky doesn't give you what you demand, it reflects what you believe about yourself. Echoes from wisdom traditions. In Buddhist parables, the beggar sat by the road unaware that a jewel was sewn into his robe. Self-worth is realizing the jewel was always yours. In folklore, the child who believed she was too small to help carried a single bucket of water that saved the village from fire. In every tradition, the teaching is the same, the universe doesn't measure your resume. It measures your vibration of worth. The deeper human meaning. Believing you deserve isn't arrogance, it's alignment. It doesn't mean life hands you everything, it means you stop blocking what's already trying to reach you. When you carry yourself as though you belong in the flow of abundance, the flow carries you. The doors that seemed locked begin to open. Not because the universe suddenly changed, but because you finally did. Part 6. Calmness is manifestation. Calmness equals magnetism. Calmness is not passivity. In Buddhism, calmness, samatha, is not the absence of action but the foundation of wise action. It's the operating system that allows thoughts, speech, and choices to run without crashing. Calmness gives us that sacred pause between stimulus and response, space enough to choose wisely instead of reacting blindly. In astrology, the moon represents our emotional tides. When the moon is stormy, every ripple feels like a wave. But when the moon is calm, it reflects the light of the sun clearly. Calmness is not retreat, it is clarity that directs our energy with precision. The 3 layers of calm ritual. 1. Body. Drop your shoulders. Unclench your jaw. Release the belly. Calmness begins in the body. 2. Breath. Breathe softly, letting the exhale be longer than the inhale. This signals the nervous system that the emergency is over. 3. Mind. Name your emotion, sadness, worry, anger, as if greeting a guest. Recognition disarms reactivity. 5 minutes of this practice reboots the system. It's like pressing reset when your inner computer is overheating. Strategic advantages of calmness. Sharper decisions. Major life choices made from calmness hold. Rash ones unravel. Stronger relationships. Calmness prevents words you can't take back. Long-term endurance. Life is a marathon. Calmness conserves energy while panic drains it. Even on Wall Street, or in politics, the leaders who breathe before they act are the ones who last. Story: The trader with 2 notebooks. A trader kept 2 ledgers, one for technical analysis, one for his breath. If his breathing was ragged, he refused to trade that day. His profits rose not from more action but from less, knowing when to be still. The Dharma says the same. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is nothing until your mind is clear. Short guided reflection. Close your eyes. Imagine a lake at dawn. The water is still, reflecting the sky perfectly. Now see your mind as that lake. Whisper inwardly, when calm, I reflect truth. Feel the body soften with each exhale. The astrological depth of calmness. Moon. A calm moon stabilizes emotions, making intuition trustworthy. Mercury. When thoughts scatter, Mercury spins like static. Calmness lets words flow with clarity. Saturn. Calmness during Saturn transits transforms hardship into mastery. Neptune. Neptune's fog can confuse, but calmness cuts through illusion like a lantern in mist. Calmness is planetary alignment in human form, the steady pulse that harmonizes cosmic chaos. Echoes from wisdom traditions. In Buddhist lore, the monk who sat by the river saw the moon's reflection only when the water stilled. In American folk stories, the hunter who waited silently by the stream caught more game than the one who thrashed noisily. In Zen, a master once held a flower silently, transmitting wisdom beyond words. In astrology, retrogrades force us into calmness, pauses that feel inconvenient but realign our lives. The deeper human meaning. Calmness is not the absence of storms, it's the art of not being tossed by them. It is a living magnet. When you are calm, you stop repelling possibilities with frantic energy and start drawing them toward you. Calmness itself is manifestation, because in calmness, you finally become the vessel capable of holding what the universe is already sending. Part 7. The Art of Letting Go, Making Space for Miracles. Letting go does not equal giving up. In Buddhist terms, letting go, vasaga, isn't quitting, it is loosening the grip of attachment. You still water the seed, but you stop demanding when and how it must sprout. You still work with skill and diligence, but you no longer tie your peace to a single outcome or deadline. Astrology mirrors this in Neptune's lessons. Neptune dissolves illusions of control, teaching us that grasping too tightly at form blinds us to deeper truths. When you stop forcing, you allow the cosmic tide to carry you into places your mind alone could never plan. 4 common forms of clinging. 1. Attachment to results. Only if this happens will I be happy. This chains your joy to conditions. 2. Attachment to timing. It must be now. The universe doesn't rush. Saturn reminds us that maturity requires patience. 3. Attachment to method. Only this path will work. But Jupiter expands in surprising directions, sometimes opportunity comes sideways. 4. Attachment to role. I'm the one who must always be in control. Identity becomes a cage when it cannot flex. Each form of clinging narrows possibility, letting go reopens the field. Practice. Letter to fear. Take a sheet of paper. Write directly to your fear, if I don't get the promotion this year. Let the anxious voice spill out. Then switch pens, and respond as your most compassionate teacher would, even without this title. Your worth remains. New doors will open. Fold the letter. Place it in a small box, a symbolic surrender to the universe. Over weeks, that box becomes a shrine of release. Proof that life carried on beautifully without the grip of fear. Story. The seed that knows its hour. A gardener sows seeds, waters them, and clears weeds, but he does not tug the sprouts upward. Growth happens invisibly, roots spreading in darkness. Life stirring in silence. To pull on the sprout is to kill it. This is the Dharma. Miracles unfold in their own rhythm. In astrology, it's like a new moon intention. You plant it, you nurture it, but the bloom comes only when the cycle ripens into full moon. Guided reflection. Close your eyes. Picture a bird perched in your open palm. If you clench your fist, it suffocates. If you leave your palm open, it may stay, or fly, and return later. Whisper, I do my part. I release the rest. Breathe into the lightness that follows. Astrological dimension of surrender. Saturn teaches that release is discipline. You endure tests without clinging to shortcuts. Neptune shows that letting go dissolves the illusion of permanence, revealing the sacred flow. Pluto transforms through surrender. Death of the old self allows rebirth. Letting go is cosmic cooperation. The stars remind us, your chart unfolds not by force, but by timing, transits, and trust. Wisdom echoes across cultures. In Buddhist lore, the man searching for his lost ox realizes it was grazing at home all along. He had to stop chasing to see it. In European folktales, the girl who clutched her candle too tightly blew out the flame. The one who held it gently lit her path through the night. In Native American teachings, rivers remind us, release control and flow carries you further than paddling against the current. The deeper human meaning. Letting go is the courage to trust the unseen hand of life. It doesn't mean you care less, it means you care in alignment with reality. By unclenching, you create space where the unexpected can arrive. Miracles rarely enter crowded rooms, they step into the spaces we leave open. So what have we discovered together? That life doesn't bend because we chase harder. It bends when we align our vibration. Release control, embrace silence, trust timing, honor our worth, choose calmness, and, most of all, let go to make space for miracles. 7 principles, 7 doorways, not abstract theory, but living practices. History echoes the same wisdom. When Nelson Mandela walked out of prison after 27 years, he carried calm dignity instead of bitterness. That calmness magnetized a new South Africa. When Martin Luther King Jr. stood at the Lincoln Memorial, he didn't demand with anger, he dreamed with faith, planting a seed that still blossoms today. Even in the cosmos, the stars teach us patience. Saturn tests, Jupiter expands, Neptune dissolves, Pluto transforms. They remind us, everything has a season, and miracles unfold only when space is given. Across Buddhist sutras, folktales, and astrological cycles, one thread remains unbroken. The universe is already moving toward you, if you allow it. So here is your 7-day map. Your personal compass. Day 1. Breathe. Release one piece of noise. Day 2. Sit in silence. Let ripples settle. Day 3. Write down what's truly within your influence. Day 4. Trust the timing of one seed you've planted. Day 5. List 10 reasons you are worthy. Tonight. Day 6. Choose calm before making a key decision. Day 7. Write a letter to your fear, and place it in the box of surrender. 7 small practices. 7 steps back into alignment. Close your eyes with me now. Inhale, hold, exhale slowly. Picture the night sky, vast, patient, timeless. You are part of that sky. The stars don't rush, yet they shine exactly when they should. Whisper inwardly, I am enough. What is meant for me is already on its way. If this message stirred even a single drop of peace within you, let it ripple outward, share it, carry it, live it, and if you wish to walk further on this path, join us here at Dharma Veins. Each week, we dive deeper into the rivers of Dharma, the whispers of the stars, and the stories that keep the human spirit alive. Until we meet again, may your silence be your teacher, your calmness your magnet, and your letting go the doorway through which miracles enter.